Stay safe, reduce your contacts. Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1.
Good afternoon, I'm Sinead Aherne. Today's top stories: 4 people have been rescued from a fishing vessel which sank in the Waterford estuary. Family members of COVID patients at University Hospital Waterford have appealed to people to stay at home, while in sport Celtic will fulfil their Scottish Premiership fixture this evening despite being without 14 first-team players and their manager. A fishing boat has sunk in the Waterford estuary. However, all on board are safe. The incident happened near Duncannon this morning. 4 people were on the boat at the time. They were rescued by another fishing vessel. Dunmore East Ornalai were launched at around midday. They remain at the scene. A Waterford woman whose husband is in hospital with COVID-19 has appealed to people to stay at home. 56 patients with COVID-19 were being treated at University Hospital Waterford last night, 6 of whom were in intensive care. Celia spoke to Damien Tiernan on Daisha today.
I think at the end of the day it all boils down to ourselves, personal responsibility. The government can't tell us what to do. I appreciate people don't like being told what to do. My husband is currently in on the Pine ward with COVID. He's 66 years of age. He is suffering terribly. He has spent a week in ICU. Thankfully, he's now out. He was behaving himself, doing as he was told, not mixing or anything else. Where the man picked it up, we have absolutely no idea.
Josie Barry's sister Deirdre was admitted to ICU on Friday night.
It's one of the worst phone calls or news that anyone would like to receive, that one of their family members is in ICU with COVID. How sick they are. The word we had up yesterday evening was that her oxygen levels have come back up. And please God, she'll be out of ICU in the next couple of days and put onto the ward in there.
The number of patients being treated for COVID-19 in hospitals across the country has hit another record high. It comes after some patients in Letterkenny University Hospital were treated outside the facility in ambulances as there was no room inside. Stephanie Rowan reports.
The situation in Letterkenny last night is what has been feared for months. 7 patients in ambulances had to wait outside the facility as there was no room inside. The hospital has apologised and says extra staff have been taken on and 11 more beds opened. Hospital numbers have once again hit record heights today, with 1,575 people with coronavirus being treated and 146 in ICU. Neil Donoghue from the Irish Nurses and Midwives Organisation says nurse shortages are a major problem.
It's predominantly a female profession. And again, we're getting a lot of contact from our members where the schools have been closed. So they're having issues with accessing childcare. So where we very much feel that it should be all hands on deck at the minute, unfortunately, there are a number of staff who cannot attend for work.
Infectious diseases expert Professor Paddy Mallon says the health system will be under extreme pressure for the next few weeks.
So I think things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. I would really appeal to everyone in the country to treat this with the seriousness that it deserves, because the worst is yet to come.
The Taoiseach has accepted that socialising has led to an escalation in coronavirus cases, but he's also blaming the more infectious strain of the virus, which has now been found in 45% of 92 tests that underwent further analysis.
60% of all cases of COVID-19 confirmed in Waterford since March of last year have happened within the last 2 weeks. Waterford now has the 4th highest 14-day incidence rate in the country after 1,911 cases were diagnosed between the 27th of December and the 9th of January. The most recent breakdown of cases by local electoral area showed that Tramore had the highest rates of infection in Waterford. Local GP is Austin Byrne.
So it's really important for Waterford people to stay out of Tramore, more than it is for Tramore people to fear them coming into the area where we're seeing spread locally. And like I say, we still are seeing it, and unfortunately we're seeing it in slightly older age groups. It's family members predominantly, people entering houses.
Online classes got underway this morning for students right across Waterford. Primary and secondary students will be taught remotely until the end of the month at least. Michael O'Sullivan, principal at St Augustine's College in Dungarvan, says teachers are aware that students will have different circumstances because of the pandemic.
No one knows what's going on in any household, and every situation is different. So we all have to be aware of that, I suppose, in relation to what we're doing and what our expectations are of everyone. And it's important for, parents to be aware of where their children are in their learning when they're doing it online. And it's also very important for us to be, as staff and as teachers, and for myself as principal and in management, to be aware of where everyone is with this, because it is different.
2 people have appeared in court in connection with an incident in Dungarvan over the weekend. Gardaí were called to Estuary Heights at around 3 o'clock yesterday morning following reports of criminal damage to a property in the area. 3 people were arrested, 2 men in their 20s and 40s and a male youth in his teens. They were all detained at Dungarvan Garda Station. The teenager was released without charge. The 2 men appeared before Carrick-on-Shore District Court this morning, charged in relation to the incident. The Taoiseach has promised to address how the details of the mother and baby home report were leaked to a newspaper. Survivors have expressed their disappointment at not being the first ones to see the findings, as Stephen Murphy reports.
A dark chapter in Irish history, the horrific extent of which will become clear tomorrow. The final report of the Mother and Baby Homes Commission of Investigation is due to go before Cabinet before the Taoiseach makes a state apology in the Dáil on Wednesday. According to the Sunday Independent, the report will show 9,000 children died in the 18 institutions looked into. Paul Redmond, chairman of the Coalition of Mother and Baby Home Survivors, says it's disappointing the details were leaked.
A lot of survivors were taken aback by it. There has been so much communication from the department lately promising that we'd be at the heart of everything and we'd be the first to know everything. So it was a shock that some person decided to undercut us like that.
Taoiseach Micheál Martin says it's regrettable the findings emerged in this way.
In the modern era, various government reports, aspects of them get leaked, and we certainly will be addressing that issue as well.
Clodagh Malone, a mother and baby home survivor, says a redress scheme needs to be set up once the full report is published.
We have lost so many survivors in the past couple of years, certainly of this inquiry. So to expedite some type of payment.
The Taoiseach has promised there'll be a comprehensive response from government to the Commission's findings.
€350,000 in government funding has been allocated to 5 projects in Waterford. It includes almost €70,000 for Aglish, €54,000 for Dungarvan, €57,000 for Knockanore and €85,000 for Clashmore. €88,000 will go towards the construction of a biodiversity park in Stradbally. Local councillor Liam Brazel says it wouldn't have been possible were it not for the village's tidy towns.
It's a fantastic start for the new year for the people of Stradbally, because the Stradbally tidy towns, they work so hard there every year on the tidy towns there, and they're always so close. Another few points would always help them. I think this might gain them an extra 20 or 30 points in the future there, and you'd never know, Stradbally could be up in the running for the gold medal in the future. So I think this is a great news for Stradbally.
Irish Rail have announced that reduced train services will come into effect from today across the country in Waterford. The 7:50am, 11am and 2:50pm services to Houston have been cancelled, while the 7:20am and 4:25pm service from Waterford to Limerick Junction will also no longer go ahead.
Make the smart play with Virgin Media. Check out their smart home packages at Virgin Media George's Street, Waterford.
Sponsors of the sports news on WLR.
Starting with soccer, Celtic will fulfil their Scottish Premiership fixture against Hibs this evening, despite being without 14 first-team players and manager Neil Lennon because of coronavirus. Christopher Julien's the only member of the group to have tested positive for COVID-19 on his return from the winter training camp to Dubai. But the other 13 players in the Celtic management team are considered close contacts, so have to quarantine. Fulham have confirmed their postponed match away to Tottenham, originally scheduled for December 30th, will now be played on Wednesday at 8:15. The Premier League has decided to reshuffle some matches affected by the coronavirus cases. Manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has played down the importance of Manchester United's chances of going top of the Premier League tomorrow night. United know if they avoid defeat away to Burnley tomorrow, they'll move above leaders Liverpool, who they play at Anfield on Sunday. Solskjaer's enjoying the buzz around the club.
It's great that our fans are excited and that they're happy where we are at, and that we have this little sense of excitement. But then we're not even halfway through the season, so of course every game against Burnley or every game against Liverpool matters a lot anyway. No one will remember how the league table looked like on the 12th of January in 2021.
West Ham will hope to avoid an FA Cup upset when they travel to non-league Stockport in the third round. Kick-off is at 8. The draws for the fourth and fifth round to be made before the game. In golf, the PGA's voted to move next year's PGA Championship away from the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster. Tour organisers say using the facility in New Jersey would be detrimental to the brand and have voted to terminate the agreement. While in snooker and in round one of the Masters, Stuart Bingham and Tepchai and Unyu have just started their best of 11 match. Sports news on WLR is thanks to Virgin Media Waterford.